Hi, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Plant-Based Cooking with Chef Kim. I'm Jamie Harding with AARP Alabama, and I want to welcome you all today to watch this really lovely plant-based recipe that I know Chef Kim is going to share with us. Before we get started, I want to just share with you that AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and older as they choose to live as they age. With a nationwide presence, AARP strengthens communities and advocates for what matters most to the more than 100 million Americans 50 plus and their families. So thanks for joining us today. And I'm going to bring in Chef Kim to the stage. Chef Kim, what do you have for us today?
We are making flour tortillas that are going to morph into our Tijuana tacos.
That sounds delicious. I'm going to get off the stage and leave you to it.
Awesome. So what I have done, started a little bit in advance making our dough because it needs to be worked and kneaded a little bit. So didn't want to bore you with that. So what I have done, as you'll see on the recipe as well, I've just taken AP flour. I added some avocado oil to it, and then I added like salted water. And basically, it's just hot water that you put salt in, and mix that all together in this bowl till everything got incorporated. If you've ever made biscuits, think of it like that. And then just start kneading. Just start kneading it back and forth. And so you're going to really kind of knead it till it not just all becomes one piece, but it would mimic what you would do in a food processor or on a dough hook in a mixer. So I've done that and had that in a pretty good spot for a while. So what I'm going to do is rest this for maybe about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to stick this over here and just turn our pan upside down. And this is going to get nice and warm. It's going to let the gluten build up in it and just form a really nice dough to work with. And then we'll portion it out, roll them out, and make our tortillas. So while we're waiting on that, I am going to do a quick pickle on a yellow onion. And I love to do these, like I had one for salad last night. And I just take the onions, I slice them julienne, and then I have just a little bit of sea salt that I use to just macerate them. And basically it softens them. It also softens the bite of the onion. You can do it with red onions too. I just like to do them with the yellow onions because even people say, oh, I don't want any onions on mine. But when you taste this, it's like, oh gosh, it's really good. It's fresh and delicious. So just a pinch or two of salt, and you just massage that in there and get that in good. And just like when we've done the pickled red onions, you're just going to kind of keep going back to it and massaging them. Okay. All right. So I'm going to set this here because I'm going to keep going back and forth. And I'm going to start with our tomatoes. I'm not going to change my gloves because salt is okay to have for the tomatoes. And so this local tomato I have here, that's why we still can get them at the farmer's market. Let's go get them. And just going to dice this up. And what I'm doing here, I'm just going to add a little bit of our spice blend to it, as well as some Italian spices. And to tell you all, the reason why we call it a Tijuana taco is because it's dressed with, instead of salsa or guacamole, we're doing our vegan Caesar with it. And so you can just use any kind of Caesar dressing that you like, that you buy, or that you even make. But Caesar is actually like Tijuana, Mexico. People think of it maybe as an Italian salad, but it's actually not the dressing. So I'm just going to finish cutting up this tomato. And just dice it up. We're going to put this on the tortilla when we get them made. Now, if you want to go the traditional route, you can certainly do that. You do not have to use these ingredients because at the end of the day, we're making a tortilla from scratch. It's better than anything that you can buy off the shelves or in a refrigerated section of the store. So I had been typically buying them for my husband, so he wouldn't eat bread, bad bread. This was just a less bad version of it, I guess. And so if he made a sandwich, it would be lighter. And so I had been wanting to make tortillas, and I made some for him, and he made whatever he was making that day out of it. And he just looked at me after he had it, and he said, "This is a game changer." So, all right, we're gonna take our simple blend, just put a little bit of that in here on top of the tomatoes. And then we're gonna come in with the spices here. Shake a few of those in and just stir them around. And we just call these herb tomatoes. Now, of course, if you want to use some fresh herbs, you can do that as well. Some fresh thyme or oregano, maybe even some rosemary. So we're done with that, setting that aside. Try to massage these a little bit. And they're already starting to bleach out liquid and get soft. And yeah, this is just a really delicious little bite and little addition. You can even add this to sandwiches. Like I said, I had it on a salad last night. Even if you did it like on a burger, you could do that, like the black bean burger. That would be really good. All right. So next, we're going to cut our corn. And you know, I like to just take the corn while it's in season, but I just like to take it and in the husk, just put it in the oven and cook it for 45 minutes to an hour in the husk. And then when the time is up, you just peel the husk off, and the silk comes off the most of it comes off right then. So you just do that, and it's a great way to, you're really steaming it as opposed to roasting it. You can steam it a little longer. It'll get some little brown spots on here, which is kind of nice too. So just gonna cut this down. Gonna have a little fresh sweet bite on our tacos, which is like a pleasant surprise. So a little burst of fresh sweetness. And if you want, you can compost the cobs. You can save them and freeze them so you get a good amount and make a really delicious corn chowder or something. Yeah, you can throw them in your stock when you're making vegetable stock. So it's tons of repurposing and plant-based cooking. All right, I think that's plenty of corn. Put this in our bowl. And our onions are shrinking and shrinking, so they're going to be great. So we have our walnut meat here, but there are some, and I shouldn't say they're great because I have not had them, but there's some plant-based meats that are like crumbles that you can buy at the grocery store. And so just pick whatever like your favorite one is, or if you want to try something out like that, you can do that also. Or if you want to make your own walnut meat, you can do that. There are recipes out there for that as well. So we've got that here. This is our corn. I've got some diced peppers. You know, we like colors. So this is red, green, and yellow bell peppers. And then we're going to put our greens together. They actually go in the tortilla first, so all the other components don't make the tortilla soggy. So I've got some romaine that I've already shredded here. And then we've got some red and green cabbage. And we're just gonna shred this really thinly and add this to the bowl, okay? If you got a mandolin, that's even better because it will give you perfect slices and it will do it really quickly. know, if you don't have one, as you can see, a knife will do just fine. And just depends on how you like your tacos. You might want more cabbage than you want lettuce, or you might want more romaine than you want cabbage. Just whatever your preference is. And so I like to do red and green so that we have some color. So if somebody's walking by and they're looking at it, you know, you eat with your eyes first, so you're going to first say, gosh, that really looks pretty. Like, I don't want any vegetables, but maybe I'll try it, you know. So sometimes you have to trick people into doing it, and once they cross over, they're hooked, they're there. All right. So there's our red, green, cabbage, and romaine. So we've got everything set aside for our tortillas. We're going to start making our tortillas, cutting them, and rolling them out. Clean up a little bit here. And I'm going to turn this cutting board around so that we don't have any pink tacos stains from the cabbage. I think we're good on those onions, so. All right. And I'm going to turn we've got a flat top here, which I will probably bring over if you guys can see it that well. But I'm just going to go ahead and get it hot. Turn this around. And if you can let it sit 20, even, you know, I've forgotten about it and had it 30 minutes before, that's good too. So, but you basically just want to let your dough rest, but it's really tender. I mean, like, it's totally different. Just that little bit, you can feel the difference in your hands and how smooth the dough is. So we're going to weigh these out so they will be of equal size, portioned out. And you'll probably get about six tortillas here with this. All right. Make sure I got this set at 0. Okay, there we go. Let's pinch off of it to a 2 ounce. This thing is really moving on me. Okay, there we go. A 2 ounce of Alright, so I'm just going to do a couple just to get us started. I won't do the whole ball of dough. So let's get one more, just I can feel the heat from this flat top. So we're going to roll these out. This one's being a little stubborn, so we'll start where we are. We're going to roll these out by hand. Good press. You can use a press. I've got to probably go off screen for 1 second. I forgot. I needed a little bit of flour to go on here. Gonna put this in here and put a little bit of flour on our board. All right, and just kind of flatten that out. But like I was saying, if you've got a press, you can use a press. But I have found that rolling it out with a good old roller is what works best for me. So. And mine are not always perfectly round, but if you want to ascertain to that, you can aspire to that. And just kind of roll your dough out into a little ball first before you start flattening it. I kind of like to leave them misshapen so people know this did not come out of the bag. Somebody actually took the time and effort to make this from scratch. So But whenever I do it for meal prep, people always text back. My clients say, "Did you make those tortillas?" So just a neat little thing to do and surprise your guests with or your family. All right, from here we're going to go right onto the flat top, and nice and hot. We're going to just get each side cooked through a little bit. All right, it's going to puff up and have bubbles form, and then we'll flip it over. All right, so I'm doing it a little bit more round on this side. It's bubbling up. Flip it. And you can roll them out paper thin if you want. And they don't have to be this big. You can make them smaller if you'd like. So you want to just kind of keep rocking back and forth, and then just flip it over, rock it back and forth. And the hotter this flat top gets, the quicker they'll cook. If you don't have something like this, you can use a skillet. You can use a cast iron skillet. That would be good. A little bit more flour. And sometimes I have to flip them more than once on here just to make sure everything. So that's it. That's really nice. You see that color there? So that one's pretty much done. So I'll let it bubble up a little bit, and we'll cook this one, and we'll start to make our salad, our taco. See how that bubbled up? It's really nice. Okay. So it started out nice and round, not as round, but we'll get to there. Okay. Just gonna put that one in the center. The one that we made right here. Okay. We'll finish up those later. Clean off our workspace. Up in here, somebody's got a tortilla making factory. Flip that over. And then sometimes if you flip it over too soon, you might see some that looks a little doughy in little spots. And so I just like to press them down and then flip them back over. But we'll leave that alone and let it do its thing. I'll go ahead and finish portioning these out because I will cook them after we get done. Okay. Flip it one more time. Got a great color, y'all. Great, great color. Cut these. And I think we're good to go. Yeah, I'm going to turn this off. That is perfect. And then we've got some tortillas. That was really fast. You know, you could do however many for your family. You can double the recipe. You can put them in a baggie and freeze them or keep them in the fridge. But you see how soft and tender they are, and would just be great for whatever you want to do and fill them with. So to this, we're going to add our greens. And you want to definitely have some color in there, so make sure you get some of your red cabbage. Okay. We're going to go in with some corn. Just sprinkle the corn on. And I like to leave the corn in chunks sometimes so that people know this did not come out of a frozen plastic bag. All right, then we're gonna go in with some diced peppers on top of there. It's already looking beautiful and colorful. So then I'll go in next with our tomatoes. Try not to get any liquid on that. Okay. And then we'll put our walnut meat on top so that it won't get wet and soggy. Just sprinkle that over. A bit of that. And however much or little of that you want, you know. Then we're gonna top this with some of our delicious pickled onions. Just a few of those scattered on there like so. And then we're going to drizzle it with a little bit of our vegan Caesar. And that's it. And it's really a delicious bite, you all. So you can see that. And that's it. Are you there, Jamie?
Yes. Hey, that looks wonderful. Thanks so much, Chef Kim, as always, for sharing your delicious recipes with us. And we look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you. See y'all next time.
All right. Ugh.
So it's over.
It's over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's still recording.
Huh?